Hi, welcome to this video day, which is on the 12th of October. We're on Saturday. We're just going to be looking at a couple of high odds trade setups in our view. We'll go to the charts in a moment. Now, in terms of the trade setups we're going to look at today, lesser looked at pairs. They are basically the USD against the Turkish lira and the USD against the Mexican peso. Now, in terms of those two pairs, you will probably have them on your trading platform. Most traders not so focused on the minor pairs, so we always make the point that look at as many pairs as possible, and you'll very often find really great risk to reward trades in the lesser looked at pairs. Let's face it, the majors have been a little bit dull over the last few months, not too much volatility, and we want high volatility as Forex traders. These two pairs very volatile. Now, in terms of week gone by, a lot of traders talking about big move up in GBP USD. They're not talking so much about the big move up in USD Turkish lira, which has made a move of similar magnitude. It's a very volatile pair and can offer you great risk reward trading opportunities. Same with USD MXN. Now, in terms of the US dollar against the Mexican peso, it has dropped down to what we consider key level of support. If it can hold that level, then it's a great risk to reward buy on strength. Now, in terms of these trade setups, we're going to use very simple fundamental analysis of the big fundamentals, and then just very simple technicals in terms of timing the trades. Now, in terms of the charts, we will go and take a look at them right now, but please do keep in mind, it is my view as of this moment in time. It can, of course, change in line with the market action and conditions. If you want all our trading techniques and our daily technical sentiment analysis of 14 Forex pairs, including our exact entries, stops, and targets, you can click on the link beneath this video and get live access to our member center. Right, let's take a look at the trade setups, and the one we will do first is the US dollar against the Turkish lira. Right, yes, the tri-daily chart, and in terms of my levels, I'll draw them in a moment. But in terms of this pair, it's really all to do with the fundamentals and sentiment, which point to a really big move up in the USD. So let's just take a look at the fundamentals. Now, the economy is slowing and inflation is high. That's a bad cocktail for any economy. Economic policy the Turks are trying is simply not going to work. They announced it a few weeks ago. I said at the time it was dreamland. It is. It's just not going to work. Interest rates, which have really held the lira steady on a number of currencies because they're so high, are being reduced. They've gone down last few months from 24% to 16%. They're going to be cut even more. Now, they're doing that to stimulate economic growth, but obviously got high inflation. So it's going to stoke inflation. It's going to be very hard for the Turkish economy to avoid a crash, in my view, because also they've got high overseas debt. Businesses heavily in debt to overseas banks. Very vulnerable to capital outflows from Turkey just because of what's going on with the political situation or geopolitical situation in the background, which I'll come to in a moment. So people investing in Turkey might start to pull their capital away. Banks lending into Turkey are going to lend less, in our view, probably not roll over existing loans and not grant so many new loans because the debt levels are so high and you've got a rising USD. That's making loans more expensive. Foreign banks who've lent into Turkey will be pretty worried, particularly Eurozone banks, because if the USD really goes motoring to the upside, there's going to be defaults. Okay. Now, the central bank actually lacks foreign exchange reserves to basically stabilize the lira if it starts to sell off hard. They've basically not got much money in reserve. Now, the real problem is President Erdogan. Obviously, I put this pair in the guess pairs section just over a week ago because you could see President Erdogan was going to trigger USD strength on the lira. He's a wild card. He's known for meddling in the economy with economic policy. He's also kind of intervened and pressured the central bank. He shouldn't be doing this. He's pretty autocratic as well. And he wanted just over a week ago to go in to Syria. Okay, now that incursion, we thought at the time, he is definitely going to do it. He did, and the USD went up, and it's a real problem. Okay, got a very complicated situation now with Trump, the Kurds, and Turkey. For those of you who haven't been reading the media, obviously the Kurds were instrumental in defeating ISIS. They had US backing, and now Trump has said, basically, withdrawing US troops and has given the green light to Turkey to go in to Syria. Now, it's very complicated historically between Turkey and the Kurds. I won't go through the history, but obviously they don't get on. There's animosity. It's very historical. And Trump is kind of caught now because, politically, he's got a lot of flack from his own party as well as the opposition party in terms of, leaving the Kurds on their own, so to speak, after they helped the US defeat ISIS. Now, in terms of Trump, obviously defended the position and why he did what he did. But it's his reaction from here on in now, okay, to the Syria incursion. If Turkey goes off limits, so if Turkey goes too far in terms of what they do in Syria. Now, what is off limits? We don't know what Trump is thinking off limits is. Obviously, pretty fierce fighting, got obviously casualties, etc., all over the media. Trump might decide to basically, he's said he can obliterate the economy in Turkey, which he can actually, if he wants to. I'm not saying he's going to, but I think he will do something to say, look, this is a little bit too much, so to speak, and put sanctions in or whatever. There is bipartisan support for sanctions. Okay, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but obviously the situation is not good. Even without the geopolitical problems, I just don't see much strength for the lira anyway. Got risk on at the moment. I think we're going to get risk off. That's going to hurt the lira. So it's got everything against it at the moment. And if you're trading, people talk about the best currencies to trade. I always like trading ones that have got really clear-cut fundamentals, bullish or bearish. This one, Turkish lira, bearish. Anyway, right, let's go to the chart. Just before we do, we'll just go to the top left where I've written some notes. Weekly target is 7, which we reached that level last year when Turkey had a currency crisis. We could get another one and could easily get up to that level. Now, in terms of percentage change to targets, I've got 2 targets. I'll draw my first target in already. So I think 620 is on the cards. Okay. That'd be 5.7% from where we are now. The second target, if we reached it, 19.3%. It's a volatile pair. And we can see really big volatility due to what's going on in the background. Now, in terms of, we put this in the guest pairs section, it was only over a week ago. Our trade is up just under 4%. In a few days, effectively. Now, if you take Euro USD, that's only moved 4% top to bottom in the last 8 months. So it's always a great idea. I know I stress this point, to focus on volatile pairs. There's nothing to be frightened of if you're using good stop protection. You're going to get a result pretty quickly. You're either going to get stopped out or you're going to get a nice profit. We bought that rally there. We also got that one as well, which was a nice one. Then we lost on that one there. But overall, trading this pair, done really well. It's one of my favourites as we come in for the new week. So how would you play it if you wanted to be long of the USD? You got kind of 3 bodies there. So you're looking, I think, for a blue opening. Where's support? There's my trajectory. And you've got 1 body, 2 body, 3 bodies, 4 bodies, 1 body just a little bit above that. It's got 5 bodies of support, or 4 bodies of support, should I say. We come up at the open, see if she runs up to 620. I mean, I've got my stop bank behind 580. I'll just tuck it in behind that double trend line support. What about if we come back? We'll cover that in the guest spare section. If we do come back, yeah, we've obviously put our stop up to lock a little bit of profit. If we did come back, I would be looking to buy the USD again. Heavily focused on this currency going forward. Yeah, just so bearish of the lira, bullish of the USD, and we could see really big volatility. And yeah, last year when we got up to 7, didn't take very long, did it? Just took a few days. Could happen again. Doesn't look good for the lira at this moment in time. Now, another fast-moving pair we're going to look at is USD MXM, which I think has got a really attractive kind of risk to reward to it. Let's go and take a look at it right now. USD MXN daily chart draws some levels in a moment, but let's have a look at the Mexican peso fundamentals first of all. The economy is clearly slowing. It will continue to slow as the global economy slows. Mexico heavily dependent on global trade and obviously commodity exports, which we think are going to fall commodity prices generally. So that's bearish for the peso because interest rates, they're coming down. They recently came down to 7.75%. Actually, 7.75% is the best interest rate you're going to get on a major currency. But yeah, more rate cuts are coming. Okay. The Banitsko Bank said this recently, although economic activity in previous quarters and in July remained stagnant, is expected to recover slightly over the rest of the year. That was their official statement. If you look at the economic data recently, yeah, don't see any recovery by the end of the year at all. Now, in terms of yeah, the peso, push the dollar down a bit here. We've got risk on at present. A bit of optimism about US-China trade talks. They've kind of declared a truce. I think that's in the price now. Okay. USD is oversold in our view. Market is looking for an interest rate cut this month from the Fed. That's near enough fully discounted, and that caused that fall down there. Fell again on trade optimism. I think now we are going to firm up and move higher. Now, what I like about this pair is the really nice risk to reward to it. So where do I see support? There. Sorry, get my line straight. Or was that a problem? There we go. Now, in terms of why I've drawn that level, you can see why. To get up there, okay, we came back, tried to punch through, up, big blue away. Now, one test of support, up, 2 tests of support. I now think the USD is going up. So just at this support level, if we run on to the downside, we've just missed the trade. Okay, stop should be here, in my view, behind that level. Why am I using that level? Basically, it's really the base of that big blue there. Got an outer Bollinger Band. Want stop behind the outer Bollinger Band. We very often do that. Okay, so look where the outer Bollinger Band is and use it as an additional layer of support or sometimes resistance. Okay, where would you come in? My own view is 1 body, 2 bodies, 3 bodies, 4 bodies there. Just through there. You could wait for a little bit more confirmation, or you could even be a little bit more aggressive if the level holds. You've got a really good risk to reward on it. My own view is obviously we are going to 22, but which is easy, in my view, if we do get going to the upside, get up to recent chart highs, and then obviously on to 22. If we get up to chart highs, that's a really good risk against the potential reward. Yeah, it's a fast-moving pair, like I've said. It's what you want. Come into a key level of support in our view. I like the look of this trade as well. So yeah, obviously regular viewers know. I just like the kind of lesser looked at pairs, the faster moving ones where you're either going to get stopped out pretty quick or you're going to get a nice profit. Your money is working hard as long as you use good risk management and basically have good logic behind your targets, then yeah, they offer great opportunities for profit, in my view. We'll see how these pairs go. Obviously, I put USD Try in the guest pair section. I haven't put USD MXN in yet. If anyone wants me to put it in, I could put it in next week if there's enough interest in this pair. Right, that is the video for today. Thank you very much for watching me as usual. Take care. Have a good day.